Darius, when you go into this season, I'm just wondering kind of where are you at mentally, especially thinking about just kind of a year ago, you barely made the roster, didn't even get to play much against the Cowboys in prime time, to now being such a fixture in this receiving group. I mean, just where are you at mentally as a player, and do you really feel like you can take another step forward for yourself personally this year?
Yeah, I think I'm in a positive place and got put together a strong camp. I worked really hard this off season, to try to better myself in any way, shape, or form I can, and I plan to try to display that to the best of my ability this season.
Do you think that what you overcame last year at the end of camp and really earning a spot early in the season last year was a big turning point in your career?
Um, I think it was definitely a stroke of adversity. It was definitely something I had to deal with, something like you said, I had to overcome. But um, ultimately, it's not somewhere that I hadn't been prior to that. And I'm sure maybe, hopefully, not again in football, but maybe in some other avenue of life, I'll be in a similar predicament. So, I'm just happy I'm on the other side of it now and be good life experience going forward.
Thanks, man.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Darius.
How you doing?
Hey, good. When you look at last year versus this year, as far as what you think you're surrounded by and the talent level on the team and the roster, clearly the front office and the coaching staff wanted to improve the explosiveness on offense. Certainly, if you look on defense, the inside linebacker situation. When you look at this roster right now, and potentially the starters that are going to be on the field on Sunday night, is it just a better, more talented team right now than you think it was last year at this time?
I had a lot of good football players on last year's team as well, to be honest with you. But I definitely think they did a good job of adding talent to our team. There's the obvious guys like Bobby Okereke on defense, Bobby McCain, a veteran safety. Obviously, we added the two young corners as well. On offense, we got Jalen and Darren and Eric Gray. John Michael, who's had a really good camp for us up front. So, I think they, did a good job of accumulating talent and adding guys that, would boost our team.
Isaiah was not on the team, obviously, at this point. And, you were on the team going into week one, but you weren't, on the field.
Yep.
So in some ways, you and Isaiah could almost seem like new players as far as opening day this year to last year. Do you kind of look at it that way a little bit?
I hadn't really thought about it till you just said it, to be honest. But yeah, from that standpoint, we will be, additions as well as far as week one goes to the team as well.
Okay. Thanks, Derek.
Yep.
Kim Jones.
Whoops. Hi, Darius.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm not new to Zoom. When you look around the locker room, and Paul just, echoed some of what I was going to ask you, but you look around the locker room now, does it just have a little bit of a different feel?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime you add new personalities, fresh faces, there's going to be a little bit of change in the dynamic of the locker room, but it's been positive. Everybody that we've had come in is I would say is a good dude. Has been personable, has meshed well with the guys that we already had here.
You're obviously a very young man still, but you're a veteran in that room in terms of knowing everything Giants for the most part.
Yeah.
Do you find teammates, maybe especially the younger ones, including rookies, asking you questions, asking you kind of, how do I do this way?
Yeah, from where to live and where to eat and where to how to do these what are they called? The little side turns.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that thing. How to all that type of stuff. But on the football field as well. I do my best to help the young guys and in any way I can, and just try to help them. Our system is very wordy. So just helping them in any ways. Try to give them tips and pointers because we were in the same boat last year when Dave first got here. Even though we were veteran players, you're learning a whole new system. So I just do my best to help them in any way, shape, or form I can. And we have a lot of young, smart guys, so they're easy students to help.
Last one, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that Isaiah is a resource as well, given his history with that offense and everything else?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, because technically he's been in it longer than any
Right.
of us, so he can kind of give. Sometimes there's things that change that is new to us that he's like, well, no, we used to do it this way anyways,
Okay.
So he helps give some insight on those types of things for sure.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll take two more. Bob Brookover.
Hey, Darius.
Yep.
You've led this team in receiving yards 3 of the last 4 years. Would it mean more this year, given it seems like this receiver room is as good as it's ever been?
I don't know if it would mean any more than it has in the past. I think my approach is always just to make plays when the ball comes my way. I've been fortunate that, I've been healthy enough and played well enough to lead this team, 3 out of my 4 years here. But, I don't really look at it as, okay, there's, better guys here than there were before. So now if I do it, it's more impressive or anything like that. I think it's just my job to go out there and make plays, and I do my best to do that every Sunday.
Does 1,000 yards mean anything to you? That's, even though you've led 3 or 4, that's a big number. Is that a number that matters to you?
I think, yeah. I think every receiver would love to be able to say, one day when I retire, I'm old and my knees don't work anymore. I could tell my kids, I had a 1,000-yard NFL season at one point. It's a nice benchmark to have, but obviously to get there, you got to start with game one first. So I just take it 1 week, 1 day at a time.
And given what you went through last year and where you started, where you ended up,
Mm-hmm.
And the fact you've led the team 3, was it disappointing at all not to be named a captain or voted a captain? I mean, obviously you're a leader on this team. You don't have to be a captain to be a leader, but was it disappointing at all not to get that recognition?
I don't really know if I would say disappointing. It's at the end of the day, it's something that's voted on as a team, and I think all the guys that we had that were elected as captains deserve to be captains. So I can't really say that I was necessarily disappointed. Like you say, I try to lead in whatever way I can, and if my teammates ever feel the need to vote me in another year or something like that, then I'll be grateful to accept that.
I think they missed the boat, but that's all right. Thanks.
Art Stapleton.
Hey, Darius, with you guys moving now to a game week, what kind of advice do you give to the younger guys? How does it change your approach, your preparation, now that really the preseason is behind you? Just curious from a tip standpoint, preparation standpoint, is this much more what you want to be doing on a week-to-week basis rather than what you've gone through the last 6 weeks?
I think the biggest thing is there's just a different level of urgency, a different level of attention to detail. During camp, there's, especially for rookies, there's always an air of like you're learning, so it's not the end of the world if on Tuesday, August 22nd in camp, you mess up a play. It's like whatever. At the end of the day, it's just practice. But, when a game comes, you can't have small miscues and things like that against good teams in this league and expect to win. So, that's probably the main thing, that I try to impress upon them is that, like this is a different level of intensity, different level of urgency. And, you got to focus and be on top of your assignments and be ready for the game.